At the end of the last tutorial, I gave you a preview of this one, the demo4.php. So currently we're at demo4.php. Let me just show you real quickly what this one does, just so that we're all on the same page. As soon as I change this drop-down field, through Ajax, it's querying the database, it's sending info to a PHP page, grabs the information out of the database and sends it back, at which point we take those details and say however many counties it is, with growth greater than 20%. So that number is specific to whatever is chosen in the dropdown. So if I were to choose 30%, it's going to say 3 counties with growth greater than 30%. When I click Get Details, it actually submits the form over to the results3.php page in this case. So that functionality is not Ajax powered. The Ajax-powered feature of Demo4 is that it tells your visitor, before they request the details, it tells them how many results they can expect to get. That's very, very useful information. So how do we do that? Well, I've opened up demo4.php in Notepad++. So what we've got here is just the information that's going to generate the drop-down choices in the HTML. And let me go ahead and show you that if you ever wanted to see what sort of HTML is being generated, it's very, very easy. You can just right-click and choose View Page Source. And as you can see, this is just regular old HTML, nothing terribly fancy here. The reason why I'm using PHP to do it is because we're grabbing this information out of a database. There's no reason why you couldn't use HTML for the front end of your web-based Ajax application. There's no reason why you can't do that. Now the part that grabs information out of the database, the results3.php in this case, that is going to have to be some sort of server-side code. It's going to have to be something that has the intelligence, has the code within it to tell the server, grab information from the database before we send results to the browser. But you don't have to use PHP. You could use Cold Fusion, you could use ASP. There's a whole bunch of different types of languages that you could use. Alright, so all we're using right here is, we're not even using the plugin for the form plugin for jQuery. All we're using is the latest version of jQuery. It's a very powerful library. So let me show you what's going on here. Down towards the bottom we have our friend document ready, which waits for the page to load, and then everything within this bracket right here to right here. That's a great feature of Notepad++. See how this one is red and this one is red? That means that shows you where the beginning bracket is and the closing bracket. So everything that's in here waits for the page to load. So not a whole lot of code is being used here, but let's see what we're doing. Alright, so my code, my JavaScript code written with jQuery syntax, is looking for a form with ID of county form. And if you scroll up to the HTML, you would expect that my form has the ID of county form, and it does. So let's scroll back down. So the main form on our page with an ID of county form, look for field set. And that would be this right here. And you can see right where it ends. And what it does first is it appends or adds to the field set. It adds div ID equals target div. So I've done this a little bit differently. So rather than putting target div in, so this div does not exist until jQuery comes along and adds it. So it's not in the HTML as you would see in demo.php or demo2.php. So jQuery adds this div. Alright, let me scroll over here and I just add on to this. So the find function in jQuery means, okay, great, you found form, you found count with an ID of county form, you found the field set. If I use find, that means, okay, now move on to the next thing, but it has to be within that field set. That was the last thing that we chose. Find a select field with an ID of growth. So let's take a look. Let's go back to our HTML here. And sure enough, we have a select with an ID of growth right here. So let's scroll back down. So that's what it's targeting. So it says when that changes, fire off this function. So let's look at what happens inside this function. Okay, so we're using a function. We're using inside of that function, we're using the AJAX syntax inside of jQuery. So the jQuery library gives us the ability to use $period AJAX. And as you can see from the color coding put on the screen by Notepad++, this is all the information that happens within the AJAX call. So we're posting the data, we're posting it to rowcount.php. So this is a PHP file that is just going to return the number of results that someone could expect. And we're going to send over growth equals whatever the value of this select field happens to be. Success, when this comes back successfully, fire off another function, and whatever the message is, whatever data comes back, we're going to put that inside of the div with an ID of target div. Well, that div does not exist until we create it right here. So a lot is going on at one time. What we're doing is we're emptying out the HTML. There's probably a better way for me to do that. I could use jQuery's empty call, and I'm appending some more HTML, and I'm putting the message right in between some paragraph tags. A lot's going on. So just to recap, look for the form with ID of county form. Look for the field set inside of that. Add to that a div with ID of target div. So this is just basic old HTML here. Then once you've done that, find inside of that form and field set, find a select with an ID of growth and change it. When it changes, fire off this function that sends information using jQuery's AJAX. Send it via post over to rowcount.php, and we're going to send it over as growth equals whatever that value is that we changed using the dropdown. And then when it comes back, fire off this function and basically put this HTML, put the message inside of paragraph tags, and put that inside of the target div that we just created. And that is a mouthful. All right, so that's what's going on. In the next chapter, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to stick on demo4.php, and I'm going to show you how you can see exactly what's going on behind the scenes using some of the Firefox add-ons that I previously recommended that you use.